All right, I'm sure you guys are ready to start this event. For that, let us invite our facilitator for today, Ashley Valentini from the Rilo U.S. Embassy, Jakarta.
Thank you. Is this on? Oh, yeah. Selamat siang, everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you for coming on this Saturday afternoon. That's really dedicated of all of you to your personal statements. First, I would just like to thank Ad America for that wonderful introduction. We are all here today to be talking about effective ways to craft your personal statements, okay? So first, I will just start by introducing myself. My name is Ashley Valentini. I was born in Boston, Massachusetts, which is in the United States of America. I have my undergraduate educational degree. I have a bachelor's of fine arts in writing, so maybe that's why I'm the writing expert today. And I have my master's degree in teaching English as an additional language. I've been living in Jakarta for about 3 months. I'm working with the RELO office, which is the Regional English Language Office for the United States Embassy. And I'm currently working at Sekolah Bahasa Polri, which is the police language school in Jakarta. So that's a little bit about me. I think that's all we need to know before we get started. I basically would just like to set the tone for how I would like this workshop to go. We're going to be talking about writing, which means that we need to write today here together. That's the most important thing we can do. Also, I need you to ask questions, because if you don't understand something, please stop me, raise your hand, don't be shy. We'll give you a microphone, don't be shy, and ask. Because if you have a question, I'm sure your neighbor and people around you also have that question. So I want us to treat this more like a classroom than a presentation with me standing up here feeling like Justin Bieber. So let's try to keep this like a dialogue, so I can share my expertise with you, and you can ask specific questions about what you specifically need. Does that make sense? Sound good? Okay, perfect. So, painless personal statements, it's kind of a joke because everybody knows that personal statements are not painless. Even as a native English speaker and even as a writer, I strongly dislike writing personal statements. So the goal for today is to give you guys a formula of how you can make this easier. I think most people, when they see, oh no, personal statement, you don't even know where to begin. So the goal for today is that you will leave this workshop with the ability to know where to begin when you're going into these personal statements. So here's our workshop goal. Participants will learn a formula for crafting a personal statement and will be able to tailor this formula to meet their specific needs. So it's a general formula, but you're going to be able to craft it for your specific application, for your specific purposes. With me? Sound reasonable? All right, so let's start from the very beginning. What is a personal statement? A personal statement is also known as a statement of purpose or a mission statement, not a personal narrative. Personal narratives are longer. So personal statement, statement of purpose, mission statement, these are all the same thing. That's important. Here's my definition. A personal statement is a small text. Personal narrative, long text. Personal statement is a small text, usually 250 to 500 words. This is what makes it so hard, because you have to pick every word and every idea very carefully, because you don't have as many words as if you're writing a personal narrative or an essay, for example. And it's part of a longer application process. All application processes will involve having a personal statement, which is just a brief photograph of who you are and why you are applying for this position. Why you are applying for something. So now let's move on to talk about you guys. What exactly is that something? How many people in this room are currently working on a personal statement? Get them up. Somebody, you, sir, for what? A master's? Who? Okay, so we have master's degree. You're up there. Who else? Anyone else have something on this list? Yes, ma'am. Continue to a doctorate? Yeah, you definitely gonna need a personal statement too. Who else? Any certificate programs out there? Like nursing certificate programs, perhaps law programs? This is also personal statement material. Scholarships, personal statements. Fellowships, like my current position, I had to write a personal statement as well. I do it all the time. Graduate degree programs, including doctorate programs, colleges and universities, workshops, and for the purpose of today's session, we are all going to imagine that we must write a personal statement for this workshop. So we will use this workshop as our example because we are all here and it's tangible and we can understand that as an example of how to construct a solid personal statement. And finally, missions related to your field. For my position in Jakarta, this is more related to my students if they are going on United Nations peacekeeping missions, for example. Everybody, even the police and the military, must write personal statements. So we're all in this together, and we're going to make it easier today, I hope. Are we all with me? Am I talking too quickly? Are you sure? Should I slow down? No. Any questions before we move on? Don't be shy. Questions make knowledge. I just invented that. No? Good? All right. Prompts. When you must write a personal statement, you will receive a prompt on your application. And again, a personal statement is going to be part of a much longer and more arduous application process. And it's hard for me, too. It's frustrating and it's hard and you want to do the best you can and sometimes you feel like you're going to cry, and that's okay because we're all like this, so don't worry. You must pay extra special attention to the wording because, for example, we have two example prompts here. One says in 250 words or less. That means do not go over 250 words. One of the first things that will get your application disqualified is a very simple mistake of not following instructions properly. Because people receive many applications, and if one personal statement is one page, they think, whew, this person didn't even read the prompt. I can throw it away because I have 500 more applications to look at. I'm sorry, but education and it is competitive. So you have to make sure that you pay special attention to your prompts. So the first one is in 250 words or less, short. And then the second one in no more than 500 words. So just make sure that you pay extra special attention to the numbers and the wording of the prompt. Is that clear? Can I continue? All right. Personal statements are a blend of a formula, which I will teach you today. It's kind of my formula. I invented it, but I will give it to you because I want you to have it. And creativity. So there are two things going on. One, you must address the prompt. You must answer the question. And number two, you must have this beautiful selfie of you. Your personal statement is kind of like an awesome selfie because it's not only going to be a composite, a photograph, for example, a fixed thing. It's also going to show who you are. So it's going to show your voice. But you must be very careful with this part of it because you don't have so many words. So there are some techniques that we can use to blend this formula with our personal voice, our style, our creativity. Make sense? Blender analogy. There's my man, President Barack Hussein Obama. Show and tell. So first, you want to show the reader who you are. Why does the reader care about you? Think about always when you're writing, you must think about who is your audience. Who are you writing for? It's the most important thing. Because you're not writing for yourself. You're writing for somebody else. You're writing for a reader. So in the situation of a personal statement, you are writing for an application board usually. So you must imagine who those people are and what you can write to really capture your audience with you. Don't be boring. Don't be unoriginal. Don't use Google Translate. Don't copy other people's work. These are all no-nos. What you do want to do is sit down, think in English. Think, or in your native language. If it's going on in your native language, it's the same thing. You want to think about, okay, who am I and what am I trying to say? And then you want to brainstorm and write directly. If you're writing in English, you want to write directly from your English language thoughts. You can use a dictionary and go back afterwards, but make sure that you brainstorm in English and you get your ideas on paper directly from your English thinking. Because if you're trying to translate, it's going to be slightly awkward. Our languages don't translate well. So make sure that you think in your head in English and then write from your English brain. Do not go to Google Translate, because trust me, as a teacher, I know what Google Translate looks like, and I'm going to throw your application in the trash. Also, and this is kind of big, and I apologize for this, because this is happening in every single country outside of the United States of America. You're very modest. In the United States of America, we are pretty competitive, and time is money, and education is competition. So you really need to sell yourself. And I know this is going to be a struggle for you, because you must tell the reader why you are the best. Because let's imagine it's this room, and there are how many of you? I don't know, maybe 40, 45 of you, and only 5 of you will come to this workshop. You need to prove to me that you're better than everybody else, because I only want the best of the best working with me. So this is a very different cultural concept, but in the United States of America, you must sell yourself. So think about what makes you special, what makes you great, what makes you awesome, and don't be shy. Talk yourself up. Does that make sense? Is that uncomfortable? It is, right? Just forget about feeling uncomfortable. You're just going to have to pretend you're an actress, an actor, or an actress, if you must, and sell yourself. So I know that's probably one of the most uncomfortable things for people who are not from the United States. We are really good at selling ourselves. We were raised to learn how to do that. We do it for jobs, and we do it for school. So just pretend that you were born in the United States and sell. Sell yourself, sell your good qualities. Don't be shy, don't be modest. You're the best. Why? Tell me. Does that make sense? It's like my president here. He sold himself. 7 years later, whew. Questions? Everybody's totally with me? Are you excited? Good. Oh, okay. What's this? It's a sandwich. Who knows how to make a sandwich? I do. I think everybody. If you're not raising your hand, we're going to think you're an alien. Making a sandwich is totally easy. You need ingredients in the middle and bread on the top and on the bottom. This is the beginning of your personal statement formula. I want you to think of your personal statement like a delicious sandwich. Not a boring cheese sandwich on white bread, even though I love cheese sandwiches on white bread. It's not a boring cheese sandwich on white bread. It's going to have a piece of bread as an introduction, 3 delicious ingredients, maybe 2, depends on how many words you have, and then the same piece of delicious bread on the bottom that kind of wraps the whole sandwich together. Does that make sense? Your personal statement's like a sandwich. Introduction, 3 ideas, conclusion. It's almost like a 5-paragraph essay, and you can also think about a 5-paragraph essay as a delicious sandwich, if you want. This sandwich doesn't look very delicious, but anyways, yes. How do you make an attractive introduction? Excellent question, taking me to my next total point. Attractive introduction, we're going to look at it like this. Your personal statement is a sandwich, right? Sandwich. Now let's look at, Now let's look at nothing. Now just everyone close your eyes and think. Thank you. I'm sorry, thank you. You're going to have what I call, to make your personal statement interesting, to make the reader want to keep reading rather than go, oh, this is totally boring. You want to, I call it a grabber. You want to grab the reader's attention somehow. And this is our first activity, is we're going to work on writing grabbers. I say, in my classes in Boston, this is kind of aggressive, and I apologize in advance. I say you want to punch the reader in the face. You really want to get the reader's attention, punch them in the face so they will keep reading. This is the same with an essay. So TOEFL essays, your first sentence, that is your ticket. So that's what we'll work on first. Our first activity is going to be crafting effective grabbers. This is kind of the overall breakdown of the sandwich. What is in black, the roadmap, which I will explain, and the conclusion, those are pretty much standard. They're like the bread. The colors are your creativity, your personal experiences, your personal skills. That's where you're creative. So this is our blend of a formula plus you're telling the reader who you are, why you're the best, blah, 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 blah. I'm the best. I think I'm going to skip over. No, I won't. Okay. As far as reason 1, reason 2, and reason 3, and I will come back to your question, I promise. Grab. As far as reason 1, reason 2, and reason 3, and I apologize, this slide is a little wordy. This is, I think, what you can use as an overall idea of how you should structure the inside of your sandwich. First is, why are you interested in the program or position? I'm interested in taking this Painless personal statements workshop because I need to write a personal statement for my master's degree. That's fine. Tell the reader. Be honest. We need to know that. Second, why, and here we go, sell, sell, sell. Why are you the best candidate for this program or this position? What makes you different? What makes you unique? What makes you special? How is your involvement with this program or this position going to make it better? So this will be the hardest part for everybody, I think. It's the hardest part. Actually, it's not hard for me. I have no problem doing this. But it is the hardest part for everybody who's not from the United States of America, I think. So why are you the best? And then finally, how will you match with the program or position being offered? Now, this is extremely important because you want to show that you've done your due diligence. You do not apply for something without having researched what you are applying for. I mean, I hope not. You should research. You should know what you're getting yourself into. So if you are going to apply for a Harvard Medical School, you better do your research about Harvard Medical School. You might want to find out that it's in Cambridge and in Boston, in Massachusetts in the United States. You might want to find out where you could live, if there's a train station, what courses they're offering, what kind of food are they serving, is there halal food on campus? All of these things, you want to have an idea before you're going into your application process. So definitely do your research, and when you are doing your third answer, you can say something that makes you connect with the program. Like, I know I would fit in perfectly with this program because blah, 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 blah. And it shows the reader that you've done your research and that you are serious. Does that make sense? I know that's a lot of words, but basically it's like this. Why are you interested in the program? Why are you the best for it? And how will you